a happy 60th, my partner.
Oh, thanks for letting everyone know that. I love you, Joe. Thanks for letting the cat out of the bag. Thank you so much.
Our opening bout, it includes a transplanted Ukrainian Olympian, Brooklyn's Євген Хітров. He was involved in a thrilling, bloody fight as Хітров had his 13th win back in March. Will he stay perfect against Paul Mendez? Sweet baby Ray Flores has the introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the Foxwoods Resort and Casino here in Mashantucket, Connecticut. Live on ESPN, this is Premier Boxing Champions. The action begins with 10 rounds in the middleweight division. The three judges ringside are Peter Harry, Bob Paolino, and Eddie Scunzio. And the referee in charge, when the bell sounds, Joe Lupino. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the black with the red. His professional record, 19 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws, 1 known contest, including 9 wins coming by way of knockouts. Hailing from Delano, California. Introducing Paul El Gallo Negro Mendez. And across the ring, his opponent fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the gold with the black. As a professional, he is perfect. 13 bouts, 13 victories, 11 of those coming by way of KO. Fighting out of Brooklyn, New York, by way of the Ukraine. Here is Євген Хітров.
Хітров, the 2008 Olympian for Ukraine, upwards of 500 amateur fights. Teddy, what do you got for a scouting report here?
Well, let's start with Mr. Hítrov, the undefeated fighter all the way from the Ukraine. Pressure and body work. Doesn't get more simple than that. For Mendez, you're taller. Use your jab, box on the outside. Try to keep that pressure and body work from ever happening.
Ten rounds they are scheduled for. A double dip of middleweight action with Ukrainian fighters, the featured attractions. We start with the 13-0 Hítrov against Mendez.
We might see some red. I hope not, but we might, as in blood, as in cuts. Scar tissue over both eyes of Mendez, mostly the left eye. He has been cut before. Matter of fact, he's been cut in 3 separate fights. Hítrov cut over his left eye in his last fight.
And in one of those fights you reference with Mendez, he was cut over both eyes, one by a head clash, the other by a punch. In fact, in 2 fights in 2013, he suffered bad gashes over his eyes.
If I'm in the camp of Mendez, which I'm not, and did my homework, which I would hope that I did do, and looked at tape of Hítrov, I'm looking to throw some right-hand counters because I noticed that Hítrov, very aggressive, but has a habit of leaning in when he jabs, getting a little top-heavy, leans that head forward, where you get a little shot at him with the right hand by putting his head too much forward. In other words, his head gets ahead of his waist, ahead of his legs. Everything should come at the same time. The head shouldn't be coming in first.
Hítrov already having some success with the jab.
Watch when he jabs, Joe, how he'll lean a little bit.
What the heck?
Opportunity to catch him, I think, with a right hand or even with a jab as he pokes that head forward. The one thing he does do, he comes and he comes and he comes. Aggression all night long. Already
setting a good pace early on here in round 1. He sends the left hook in against Mendez.
Yeah, the problem with Mendez, 2 draws, you know, both his losses were close, majority decision, split decision, also had 3 wins by split decision. So, you know, he doesn't have power. And as I've said before, when you don't have power, you're involved in a lot of close fights. You need power to separate yourself in fights. He doesn't have it. That's why he's been involved in 2 draws and all those close decisions. He's going to need a little pop to keep this punching machine off of him. Otherwise, Hitrov's going to be in his kitchen all night.
Good exchange right here in the final minute of round one. Mendez was able to land a right hand to the body, but it's been Hítrov coming and coming. Back and forth they go here to start the night on ESPN.
Listen, it's fun fuzz. It's great fuzz. I don't know if it's great for Mendez down the road. You know, he might be winning a small battle here, standing with the stronger Hítrov, but he's going to lose the war if he stays in close.
He just ate a right hand from Hítrov as well. Back to the jab. Good stuff to open up the PBC on ESPN. Joe and Teddy ringside. Fun way to start the night. PBC on ESPN. Saw that right hand in the first round from Hítrov,
yeah,
Teddy.
Joe's showing that he's been taught something. He slips the jab and he tries to counter with that right hand. But Mendez had the same idea. He was trying to beat him with the right hand.
CompuBox was very busy in round number one tabulating things. Look at the total jab numbers. See, 43% landed for Hítrov. 13-0 with 11 knockouts. The Olympian from Ukraine.
I noticed just a second ago that Mendez defensive-minded a little bit. I don't blame him after having a guy come throw that many punches at you in the first round. Mendez reached out with his right hand to catch a jab. He thought a jab was coming, and he reached out with his right hand. If I'm in the corner of Hítrov, I'm telling him, hey, did you notice that? If you didn't notice it, we did. So what you do is you jab, and then you hook off it, or you feint the jab. When he reaches, Mendez being he, reaches with that right hand to block it, you hit him with the hook. Because there will be an opening.
Trap here.
Yeah, there'll be an opening then. See, this is where, again, Joe, what I said in the first round, Mendez not having power, it really hurts him in a fight like this because this guy's going to keep coming if you can't do something to discourage him a little bit. And there's only two things you can do. Hurt him, which you need power to do that, or really box, you know, his shoes off on the outside. And Mendez not really boxing his shoes off on the outside. Mendez is kind of what Hítrov likes, a guy in front of you, a guy you don't have to look for.
Bernardo is in the corner of Hítrov. Bernie, what can you tell us?
Very much what Teddy was talking about. They want him to continue to use that jab, but they want more combinations. They want him to keep the pressure going because they see that Mendez is not coming to Hítrov, but they don't want him to forget about defense. This is all that Gary Stark was mentioning in the corner.
Joe, Gary Stark, I mean, for full disclosure, first of all, he's one of my favorite trainers, one of my favorite people in boxing, but full disclosure, he's one of the trainers that works in the Dr. Atlas Foundation Coppin Kids gyms we have in New York.
Yeah, New York-based, long-time cornerman.
Yeah, we have 3 gyms. We got over 500 kids in the gyms, and we do it to get kids off the street, keep them in high school. We got 3 rules. You bring a report card, get you in the gym, pull your pants up, respect us, respect everybody else, no sagging, and you go into the computer rooms where we pay a certified teacher to tutor you if you need the tutoring. Gary Stark is one of our employed trainers in the gym, and not only does he do a good job teaching them to fight, he makes them better people.
Coming to the end of 2, a little bit of blood from the right eye of Paul Mendez.
Hey, tienes que tirar combinaciones. No estás ganando la pelea ahorita, ¿eh?
Ya.
Okay.
No, abajo.
Hey, no estás haciendo nada abajo. Tienes que pegar más abajo tú.
Estoy esperando, man.
Hey,
Al aire.
breathe. Come on. Hey, ese...
Check, I want more combinations on this kid. All right? Now start bringing it. Ba, 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 ba. Just like we did with that other kid. Ba, 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 ba. Ba, 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 ba. And go to angle. Got it?
Have a good time.
When you go to angle, go to solar flex. That's your shit. Got it? I want 1-2s. Hard 1-2s. You're not throwing them. And stay low.
You're talking about Gary Stark in the corner of Hítrov as the unbeaten middleweight prospect, looking to work his way up the rankings, heading to round number 3 here against Paul Mendez. He was able to land a couple of left hands at the end of that last round against Mendez, and we noticed a little blood coming from the corner of Mendez's right eye.
Even though Hítrov comes from an awful long way away in the Ukraine, most of his fights have been right here on the East Coast. While Mendez always fights on the West Coast, this is actually his first time fighting on the East Coast. We'll see how well he travels, Joe.
For Hítrov, he made his pro debut in New York. This is his 13th fight in the USA, only one back home in Ukraine. That was October of 2015. This is his second fight of this calendar year. There's a right hand that was able to get through the guard. Uppercut does as well as he split it.
Step up here for Hítrov. You know, the right style in front of him. Mendez could make him look good, but a step up. Mendez, an experienced fighter. He's been around almost 7.5 years. He's got 24 fights. Never been stopped. Durable guy. This is the way you teach a fighter, where you bring a prospect along. When you're at the point that Hítrov's at, 13-0, you put him in with someone who can make him go rounds. Test him internally, not just externally. See how he is when he has to make decisions when the guy's still there later in the fight. Life is it's about making choices under difficult circumstances. Boxing, the same thing.
Good work with that right hand, getting around the left guard. Some head hunting now from Hítrov. He was placing right hands to the body successfully, and then a series that goes upstairs as well. Good work here from the Ukrainian.
Yeah, I think if he goes downstairs, he might even get a stoppage against the guy who doesn't get stopped. Because right now, Mendez, even though he's getting caught some shots, out of 7 shots coming, 3, 4 of them he's deflecting. He's moving a little bit. You go downstairs to the body, you freeze that head movement, and then you land more of those shots up top. But that's something that Hítrov, again, 13-0, something he's here to learn. He's in the classroom right now. Next fight, he gets a fighter in the same situation. I guarantee you, it would have been impressed on him already in the gym after this fight that he'll go downstairs, put a little water in that basement.
By the way, just to give you a sense of how durable Mendez is, we asked him and talked to him about being knocked down. Said never in a fight, never in sparring, never in the amateurs. This is a guy that stays on his feet, but a very strong round from Hítrov.
Nothing.
Dale agua. Al aire.
Poquito más. Hey, ahora sí, güey. Tienes que ya empezar, güey. Este vato no es Triple G, güey.
No.
Ok, entonces, ¿qué estás haciendo? Te estás ganando. Ahorita estás 3-0. I feel, right?
Yeah.
Hey, you
Look
can't let
at
that happen anymore. You know how they
my
are.
mic wasn't on. Somebody put it back on. Thank you. Let's take a look at this action here. Hítrov in the last round. What I liked there, Joe, was not just that he was chucking punches at the head, but the little moves to the side. Every once in a while, he took himself a little bit off to the side to get a better angle for his shot. And there's a good shot. a clean right hand getting in right there. But I like the footwork. You know, you don't think of a guy like Hítrov, straightforward, you know, one dimension in certain ways. You don't think of him with footwork. I saw the footwork, moving to the side, getting little angles. Again, the only thing I would have liked to see, little body work. Maybe you're going to see it this round.
Seeing plenty of that. Look at the total power punches according to CompuBox. 100 landed, 201 thrown.
Now hold him, go hold him. Break! Step back.
Jabbing to the body. Maybe he's trying to set something up here.
Now hold him.
Joe Lupino, third man inside the ropes, hasn't had to do much work with these guys being active on the inside. Able to land that right hand to the body.
Those elbows.
And there's the one dimension. I'm not knocking him, but, you know, Hítrov, nobody's perfect. He's undefeated, but you see that one dimension. He's always in front of you. What I liked the last round, again, was that when he started working, he started moving his legs to the side a little bit.
Got a couple of thudding right hands here in round 4.
That's not a bad idea what you just saw Hítrov do when he came up short. Step with Mendez, force him out of the pocket, and step with him and see if you can catch him a really clean shot as he's going out the door. A lot of times fighters have a tendency when they go away, they think, well, I'm going away from you, Joe. So they loosen up their defense a little bit because, you know, they're separating from you. And they drop their hands a little bit. And if you step with them, you can catch them. Boy, this Mendez is game, isn't he, Joe? And he's got a granite chin. Here we are in the 4th round. He's taking a good amount of punches, and he's right there. Right there, smiling, saying, I'm okay. He's going to test. Even though he's getting hit, he's losing his fight on my cards. Mendez is going to test Hítrov before this night's over. He's going to test him, like I said earlier, internally. Find out what's inside.
Right now inside was Hítrov probing. Now he tries to get around the corner and places a right hand to the body.
So
back in the pocket with a right hand. By the way, a reminder for you watching at home, you can join in and vote along with Teddy Atlas and the 3 ringside judges. Go to the ESPN Boxing Facebook page or ESPNvote.com/boxing. Got a good main event coming up. Sergey Derevyanchenko against Sam Solomon. Teddy has the fight plan.
You can't teach an old dog new tricks. Or maybe you don't even want to. If you're Sam Solomon, like I'm going to play right now, 42 years old, former world champ, been around all that time, let him do what he does. And then maybe a little wrinkle on it. Solomon against Derevyanchenko, he's going to move around a little bit. He's going to move and then keep him off balance, and then bang, bang, catch him by surprise when he doesn't expect it. But he is 12 years older, so also the one little wrinkle I was talking about, slow the pace down. Tie him up when you get inside. Slow it down. Make him feel relaxed a little bit. And then when he's relaxed and he's waiting for the ref to come in, just before the referee gets there, you're experienced, you're looking, you see the ref's about to get there, let go. Bang, 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 and catch it by surprise. The old man can do that. It's nice. Feel like taking a nap? Oh, yeah. You're always tired. Well, we're going to have dinner. Are you wide awake? I knew how to do that.
Something to look forward to. Fight plan of Sam Solomon taking on Derevyanchenko in a good-looking main event. And we just heard that right now, back in the locker room area, Sergey Derevyanchenko is being retaped. In fact, Andre Rozier, longtime cornerman, who's the assistant to Hítrov in this fight, has left the corner in this co-feature to go back and deal with things with Derevyanchenko. Bernardo, what can you tell us?
They have unwrapped the right hand. The left hand is okay, but now the commission is looking at it because there was an initial belief that it was 4-inch wraps, but it is 2-inch wraps. It's the way it's being wrapped right now. And Andre Rozier did leave Hitrov's corner to come back here, and everything will be fine for the main event.
Bernardo, was that concern put forth by the commission, by Ken Reels and his group, or was that from Sam Solomon and his corner and his charges?
From Sam Solomon's team.
Okay, very well. So they're retaping Derevyanchenko as he prepares for the main event against Sam Solomon. Rozier, who is working as part of the corner team for Hitrov, had to leave here before round 5 to head back and deal with that.
It sounded to me from the way, great job again by Bernardo in the locker room, but it sounded to me, and you asked the right question, Joe, and I'm glad you did, but it sounded to me like the commission made a mistake there. That they went with the complaint of Solomon's people, and you got to look at the complaint, no doubt about it. But that it was the right wrap, and they made him take it off, and now they're putting it back on. That's my problem right there. If I'm getting the information correctly, they thought it was 4-inch, but what it was supposed to be was 2-inch. So they made him take it off, but then they found out that it was the right one. Now he's got to put it back on.
By the way, not the first time in boxing that we've done. This is very...
That shouldn't happen.
It shouldn't happen, but pre-main event issues with wraps and guys watching them get wrapped. I mean, you're the guy that watches it. The opposing. It happens all the time, right? Too many times.
No, I agree, but you got to get it right. I mean, it's pretty important what goes on in this ring.
Oh, you better believe it.
It's pretty important.
Guys' lives are on the line.
Exactly, and it's pretty important having your assistant in the corner, not having him in the locker room now when you need him in the corner.
Yep.
And again, to that point, the commission, guys, you got to be sure. Listen to the complaint, but don't make them take the hand wraps off until you're sure it's the wrong hand wraps.
Final half minute here in round 5 as Hitrov continues to have his way on the inside. Had a left hand coming around and back to that uppercut, trying to split the guard as Mendez fires back.
Good round for Mendez. Again, he's testing. You get tested in many different dimensions, many different ways. And one of the ways is when a guy doesn't go anywhere, he's still there. It tests your soul a little bit. What's inside you? Whether or not you get discouraged, you start giving in a little bit. We're going to find out about Hitrov.
End of 5. Corona Extra brings us tonight's extra look.
Yeah, this was a few rounds ago, 3rd round to be exact. Good, clean right hand. Landed by Hitrov again. Moves his head to the left, makes it look like he's going to do something on the left. Gets the eyes of Mendez over there and shoots the right hand over on the other side. Subtle things. Little trickery there. Looks like he's just throwing a punch. No. Little sweet science attached to throwing that punch.
Scheduled 10-rounder, 5 in the books. Halfway mark gives us a chance to see the scorecards of Teddy and you, the fan at home. Teddy's got it 49-46, with just the last round going to the Californian Paul Mendez. Fans at home see a split second round, 4 rounds in the books for Hitrov. You could score along with Teddy on the ESPN Boxing Facebook page. So Bernardo's been busy in the corner of Hitrov and then back in the locker room. As for Todd Grisham's listening into the corner of Paul Mendez. Todd?
Joe, the corner knows they're behind. They want Mendez to be much busier. Also, they agree with what Teddy was saying earlier. Hitrov bends his head down, bends his body down as he comes in. They want some uppercuts whenever that happens. And also, Joe, earlier you mentioned that Mendez has never been knocked down, be it in the amateurs, pros, or in sparring. He sparred with Triple G and Andre Ward for their camps, dozens of rounds with each guy. So if Hitrov's able to put him down and Triple G and Andre Ward didn't, that really says something.
That's a good point, Todd, and it just shows you the kind of guy that Mendez is. And Teddy, you said durable, test is going to be there to give you a test. Veteran guy, 27-year-old.
You might not see it on the outside, but stuff's happening on the inside of Hito. Inside, in the chest area, in the mind area. You know, he's starting to think a little bit, where he hadn't had to think in his 13 previous fights. He's starting to think, will I get to this guy? Am I missing something by not having gotten to him yet? Am I capable of continuing this for 10 rounds? There's questions that are being asked privately right now to Hito. And he's giving the answers right now.
Oh, I like that work right there. Combination on the inside, took a step to the outside, landed the right hand.
We get asked questions in everyday life, every day. How do we answer them? That's what makes this fight interesting for me, peeking at Hito right now in that situation.
Continuous steps forward, 4-punch combination, finished with a left to the body. Opened up that time. Mendez almost filled the hole. Instead, it's more Hito coming heavy-handed body shot again.
See, now that's Gary Stark. Why I say he's a good trainer. More importantly, he's a good person. As I said earlier, he develops young kids into young men. But he whispered in his ear. He told him, next time you hit him, you catch him, go downstairs too. And he did. And there it is.
You want to evaluate him? You could. How you feel, champ? All right? Yeah, get some of that grease off, man. Watch the grease, guys. Seconds out.
Joe and Teddy ringside. Good night of the PBC on ESPN, presented by Corona Extra. Round 7 of our co-feature, the unbeaten Євген Хітров against the veteran Paul Mendez. We're getting ready for our main event with Sergey Derevyanchenko. Bernardo, more drama back in the locker room with the wraps?
Yes, now the left hand of Derevyanchenko will also have to be re-wrapped by Andre Rozier. It was the length in yards of the gauze tape used that caused the problem. Once they compared the right re-bandage hand with the left bandage hand, they noticed that the padding was different, and so now they're re-wrapping the left hand as we speak.
I take some of my criticism back, I guess, from the commission, okay? Because we had different information, obviously, 2 rounds ago, and now that's been clarified. That's a legitimate reason to go through everything we're going through here and to make a fighter go through something he doesn't want to go through, re-wrapping his hands before a very important bout. And mess with him a little psychologically in the dressing room. But this is the test that say, are you good enough to be a champion? Not just know how to throw a jab and a hook and go upstairs and downstairs and get away from punches, but to deal with controversy, to deal with roadblocks that get thrown at you, to deal with difficulties that suddenly come out of nowhere, like your hands being re-wrapped.
And often in the boxing business, the higher you go, the more those difficulties have nothing to do with what's happening inside the ropes.
And you got to look at the hand wraps. I mean, that's
of course
part of why they're looking at it so closely now is Margarito.
Antonio Margarito.
Yeah,
enough said.
Against Cotto. I mean, you know, he had a foreign substance that impacted his power and his punch and did a lot of damage from what was proven later on. Did a lot of damage to Cotto, could have ruined his career. So, yeah, you got to be vigilant about such stuff. I just want to make sure they knew what the heck they were doing. Sounds like they did.
Heavy-handed Hítrov with another right uppercut of his own.
Yeah, I gave credit to Gary Stark earlier. Let me throw a little credit on the other side in the red corner to Manuel Quesada, the trainer, the chief trainer, and second for Mendez. You know, Todd told us in the corner that he said, hey, start using that uppercut because he noticed that Hítrov's leaning forward. Very good advice, very sharp advice from the corner of Mendez. And I see, as we just saw a moment ago, the uppercut landed by Mendez because Hítrov is leaning forward. He should go to that punch a little more.
Big right hand at the end of 7.
Here, right next to you. Hey, the bucket's right next to you, right? Hazlo atrás. Eso. Okay. Oh, yeah.
How we doing, Paul? I'm good. I'm good.
Doc, everything good?
A good-looking run of PBC fights on all the networks. You got the light heavyweight championship fight, and then there's Leo Santa Cruz and Carl Frampton on Showtime July 30th. Actually, Paul Mendez, who we're seeing here in our co-feature, last fought on the undercard of that thrilling Leo Santa Cruz Abner Mares Staples Center main event on ESPN in summer of 2015. Let's look at the CompuBox numbers for total punches, and you will see this throughout the career of Hítrov. The thrown number, 782, landing to 49%, 387 landed as we begin round number 8.
And again, watch Hítrov, who's dominating this fight with a very game Mendez, who's not giving in one bit. But watch what I mentioned earlier. Now he'll lean a little forward just a millisecond before he throws that jab. His head will come forward into the punching zone of Mendez. Chance again. And Mendez needs a chance to change this fight around. To throw a right hand or to even catch him with the jab before Hítrov gets off.
Let's get an update in the corner of Mendez. Todd?
Yeah, talked to his trainer and said, hey, it seems like Mendez is taking a ton of damage. He goes, yeah, we're taking way too much damage. I said, any chance you guys are thinking about maybe stopping this thing? He goes, oh, no, we're going all 10, no problem.
Yeah, those CompuBox numbers were quite revealing, and then you see what's happening in front of us. But only 2 losses in his career, a majority decision loss and a split decision loss. Those happened within his first 8 fights.
Again, give him a lot of credit, Mendez. 84 amateur fights, nothing to sneeze at, but something to cough at is Hítrov's amateur experience. 500. Oh. I mean, you know, that I'll see you and I'll raise you 10.
Yeah. So many times, often you come across the Eastern European fighters with Olympic success, and you'll see that big number with the amateur success. Look at the head hunting here. I mean, Hítrov shot after shot as Mendez tries to stay the course, and now is backed up.
And again, the problem is not the heart of Mendez. Look at that heart. It's huge, but the power, or better said, the lack of power. Nothing to keep this punching machine named Hítrov out of your kitchen.
Power punches this round alone. Hítrov on top in a big way. yanking away another strong round and more damage done to Paul Mendez is the unbeaten Євген Хітров.
How you feeling, man? Let's give him one more. If not,
What do you think?
uno más, te vamos a dar, güey.
What do you think? You're taking a lot of shots, man.
Uno más, uno más, uno más. One more.
You're taking a lot of shots.
You got to show us something this round, Paul, or it's done. You're not winning, so come on.
Good.
Taking a lot of shots. I'm going to give you another round to see how you do. All right, my man? Okay? All right, this is it. You get in trouble one more time, though.
I'm good.
All right.
Pablo.
Oh, that's good. That's good, Jimmy.
Again, it just looks like a little bit of a looping right hand, but watch Hítrov. He slips his head to the left, and then he sneaks that right hand in there. That little move, that little slip to the left, takes Mendez's eyes over to the side and allows that right hand a clean path to the head of Mendez.
You see that mohawk snap back with the impact of that punch from Hítrov. Round number 9. Listen into the corner of Paul Mendez. They were telling him, as Manny Casada said, hey, you got to show us something here or it's over. He is taken. Body shot, left hand upstairs, another body shot sweeping across the belt line.
And I like that was an educated combination by Hítrov. Right hand to the body, under the elbow, left hook up top. The left hook created by the right hand downstairs.
Mixing it up well.
There's those little moves to the side, which he should use. He's got Mendez standing right in front of him. Step to the side, get an angle where you catch him a clean shot on the side that might not be there in front.
Split the guard that time, then went with the right hand to the body again.
This is where the referee has to think about
This may be over,
really.
Teddy. I mean, he's taking so many headshots
I think the
here.
referee's got to be ready to stop this fight. I mean, that's part of his, job description, is to stop a fight when a guy's taking too much and he doesn't have a chance to win.
Mendez, big right hand comes in.
They got to stop
Throws
this.
on the apron. This fight is over. Євген Хітров now 14-0 with 12 knockouts, and for the first time in the career of Paul Mendez, he is stopped. 27-year-old veteran from California was taking too much punishment from now the Brooklyn-based Євген Хітров.
And here's the end. Again, what the same you saw coming up on the corner, one of the commissioners come walking up and get the attention of the referee. And there he is. One of the inspectors that works with the commission in the corner came over, and the referee saw that, and the referee stopped the fight.
The unbeaten middleweight prospect, 2008 Olympian, told you all the amateur success. He's fought once back home in Ukraine, but stateside has been where the pro career has been skyrocketing. And he brought it from the opening bell tonight against Paul Mendez and closed the show in style. Todd Grisham with some details is what happened at the end there.
Technically, the referee stopped the fight with the advice of the physician. I guess when the physician jumps up there, they figure we better stop it, so that's what happened.
I
have no problem with that.
No, not at all. I mean, the only problem I have is I just called a doctor and inspector, that's all. But it was somebody looking out for the welfare of the fighter in the corner. I know Dr. Schwartz. That was not Dr. Schwartz. I guess that was one of the other physicians. But again, I thought it was one of the inspectors in the corner there for a purpose to make sure that everything's going right in the corner in between rounds, and that the fighter's not taking too much punishment. And he came up, got the attention of the referee. Again, was not an inspector, he was a doctor, did his job.
To make it official, or sweet Baby Ray Flores?
Ladies and gentlemen, on advice of the ringside physician, referee in charge Joe Lupino waves off about 1 minute 20 seconds of the 9th round for your winner by technical knockout and still undefeated, Євген Хітров.
So Hyitrov now 14-0, 12 knockouts. Boy, is he fun to watch, and boy, does he keep the fingers of the CompuBox guys busy. These are the final punch stats, and look at that left-hand column for Hyitrov. And consider this was a mid-9th round TKO. He threw 966 punches, landing 50%, including 364 power punches against Mendez.
From the truck bring some ice to the punch stat guys, because their fingers might be a little swollen. A lot of work.
Well, there is the tape.